Hola, hello. Okay, so this is probably the second time I've gone live on my personal Facebook page, but for some reason, I think for the past 48 hours, I have been have been thinking about something really interesting, and it felt like the right thing to come on and not only share it, but get some support and thoughts from people. Hi, Ginger. So, as many of you know, I have been sober. I think that's the word to use. I've been sober for almost a year now. I think it's going to be a year the first week of June. And it was a decision I made, not because I was struggling necessarily, but because it felt right. For those of you who do not know my story, I grew up drinking pretty much. My parents gave me my first drink when I was 12 years old, and since then they never locked up the liquor cabinet, and I took advantage of it. I was pretty much an overprotective child. I was not allowed to go out and have fun with my friends, but I was allowed to drink as much as I wanted as long as I did it in the comfort of my house. And when I turned 16, I went through as tough as 16-year-olds can feel it, breakup, and that I spiraled down from there. I pretty much graduated high school drunk. And since then, I made a lot of stupid mistakes, powered and fueled by booze. Now, why am I telling you this? Is just if you didn't know, that was kind of like my story. I drank a lot until I was probably 21, 22. And then I learned how to pause myself, how to not necessarily get shit-faced, but it still happened every now and then. So last year, due to some events that are not for me to share, I decided that, yeah, I know, sister, it's not fun. I mean, especially because I have the worst hangovers in the world. So last year I decided that I was going to stop drinking, and I did. So on, I think it was June 1st or May 30th, I can't remember, May 31st, whenever it was, I went to see Wonder Woman last year. I decided that I was going to stop drinking, and I did. I went cold turkey. I decided I was not going to have a drink. And what that taught me about myself is so important that I wanted to share it with you guys. So what that taught me about myself is, A, I do not need drinking. I mean, it's not necessary for me to have fun. I can go out, have a nice conversation, party like a rock star without having drink. The second thing it taught me is I can keep my promises to myself, and this was the most important part of it. It's when I tell myself I can do something, I am capable of following through with that. This has given me the confidence of keeping up with many more promises that I've made myself in the past year, including my fitness goals, including my business goals. Just making this decision and what it symbolized for me was super important. Then around my birthday, a friend of mine came to visit me here in Des Moines, and I decided that I was going to have a drink with her, and I did. So I remember that for the weekend after my birthday, I had 2 mimosas and a beer, which first of all reminded me that I am a wimp now. I can't drink, like my body does not handle it. But second of all, in another time of my life, I would have used this as the gateway to start drinking again. I would have told myself, well, I can reward myself because I've been sober for 6 months. And now it's not an excuse. I made the conscious decision to have a drink, and I was able to stop drinking again because it's not imperative for me. And what that particular moment taught me is that I really, 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 really don't need a drink. I decided to do that for my birthday, maybe to test the waters. But now I know that it's not necessary. Now, the very big reason why I decided to do this live video is because in the past few days, the weather's nice, is day drinking time, patios are open. I've been wondering, what if I just start hanging out and going out for a beer with people? And I decided that that's bullshit. I realized that that was my past thoughts coming up and trying to trick me into, being dishonest with myself. The reality is that my life is way better because I do not drink. And the friends that I've made, the relationships that I've built in the past year have been based in the understanding that I do not drink. And it's good for me to be able to, for us to be able as human beings to stop saying, I stopped doing this, but rather saying, I just don't do this anymore. And that has been the big difference for me. Since from today on, and if you hear me out there, just correct me, I decided that I will say that I won't say anymore that I stopped drinking, but rather say I don't drink. And I don't. And that's it. My body and my mind do not need to enter in any conflict because I just don't drink. And if there's anything out there for you that you just want to stop doing, if there's any life change that you want to do, start with making the promise to yourself and hold yourself accountable. It wasn't easy. It wasn't a decision that I thought I would ever make permanent. But if there's anything that you want to start eliminating from your life, you need to start telling yourself, I don't do this anymore, rather than I'm going to stop doing this or I'm stopping this. You just don't. You don't need anything that's holding you back. You don't need anything that's making you feel like shit. You don't need the relationship. You don't need the sugar. You don't need whatever it is that you think is holding you back. You don't need that. So get out of your own way. Make the decision to stop and start saying, I don't do this. And whenever you feel like you want to step back and continue that behavior, remember how awesome it feels to wake up every morning and do the day count and say, oh my God, it's been 3 days. And oh my God, it's been 4 days. Better yet, just start with 30 days and let's see how that goes. Everyone that has joined me, thank you. Disclaimer, this is not me saying stop drinking. This is not me judging people that drink. This is just me sharing that it didn't work for me. And I believe that if there's anything that doesn't work for you, you can stop doing that shit. So whatever it is, I hope that you have an awesome day and thank you for watching. Thank you so much, Ginger. Bye-bye.